very sad when we report that trauma cases in Gauteng have actually tripled. Gauteng emergency services say alcohol abuse playing a massive role in accidents and assaults. Christmas Eve and Christmas Day saw more cases than New Year, which is actually rather unusual. eNCA's Heidi Giokos finds out why.
Fear and panic that trauma cases would increase dramatically for the festive season after the curfew was lifted and alcohol restrictions eased. Preliminary numbers in Gauteng show trauma cases have almost tripled since 2020.
We woke up on the 31st of the morning with the news that the curfew was lifted, and we suddenly had to scramble around a bit to just make sure that we have the extra resources and capacity. We went back and looked at our data pre-COVID because we sort of expected that same call volume, especially on New Year's Eve going into New Year's Day itself. We put down a few extra resources in preparation, and there was definitely an increase in trauma volumes compared to last year exactly the same time. I think we almost increased about threefold just on our trauma cases, but on our medical side we stayed pretty much the same. To be honest, I think we expected worse. I think there was a measure of responsibility, although there was a lot of visible trauma because of alcohol abuse.
The unfortunate but ever-increasing number of violent attacks on people, such as shootings, stabbings and assaults with the intent to severely injure, if not kill, noticeably increased when alcohol was consumed.
Alcohol abuse remains a huge problem as people continue to drink and drive.
Difficult for us because we can't do the blood test, but what we've seen on the road on New Year's Eve was almost exclusively alcohol related, and it's very difficult also to manage those patients because they get very rowdy and they don't want to really want our services because they want to go continue their party. But yeah, there was definitely an increase. I think we went from about 38 car accidents from last year New Year's Eve to over 160 car accidents over the same period.
We will always have those few people who will always perpetrate the law. We had about close to over 500 people who were arrested for different crimes, and this includes, of course, the drunk and driving. We did have those people, even although we send out warnings, but we did have those people who were taking chances, who were on the road driving and drinking, and this is an offense because we know that we are also putting other people's lives in danger.
Good news though, emergency calls coming in due to COVID-19 have decreased significantly.
It's a very strange phenomenon that we're picking up. So even though the COVID numbers presented in the media is high, the amount of people that needs emergency care is very low. So we went from last year, let's say over 4 years, over 4 hours coming into New Year's Eve, we had about, I think also like 160 cases calling for help. And this year I think we had 7. So there's definitely a decrease in need for emergency care and breathing difficulty because of COVID.
And while many people make their way home as the festive season comes to an end, emergency services are calling for all South Africans to act responsibly and arrive alive. Heidi Giokos in Midrand.